Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to a YouTube video. Actually, this is the first video on the channel. This is an entirely new channel apart from my Undecided Start, which was a gaming channel, which I haven't exactly been on up to date. So I'd rather just continue with what I do the most, which is talking and making vlogs and all that. And this actually first episode is about what's important to you. Because what is important to you is actually pertaining to what's important to you. What do you like to do? What do you put your time in? And what do you value the most? Because what you value really helps determine who you are. For example, I've been studying Japanese for 5 years, and even through those 5 years, it's been off and on, but I always come back to it. And when I want to start and study a new language, I always just fall back into Japanese. And excuse my hair, I did it earlier, but that was hours ago. But I always come back to Japanese. Every time I start studying French, back to Japanese. Start studying German, back to Japanese. I don't know what it is, but I've been studying Japanese for so long that it's automatic for me to just return back to where I started. And I think that's awesome because I love Japanese. I've been wanting to go to Japan for years. I haven't saved up all the money to do it yet, but I'm working on it. And it depends on what you see is valuable also. Because you could find something valuable and in a way, no, you could put time in something. You can put time in, let's say you're dating somebody. I don't know if you're a girl, male, sub ladies. But if you are, let's say theoretically you're a boy, right? And you're dating this girl and you're putting all your time, you're buying her things, you're giving her presents, and come on, what else do you give her? Like chocolate, maybe? I haven't dated anybody in a while. But you give them chocolate, you take them out to the movies, the fair, park, photography, all types of stuff, right? And you're just giving her stuff, but does she value that? And how does she value it? When she expresses her value and appreciation for it, does she take you to your favorite concert, your favorite band members, take you to, see your parents? What does she do for you in return for that value? Is it just lost value where the value is completely depreciated and she doesn't appreciate anything you do? And so she just kind of just takes and is like, oh, thanks, that was wonderful, thanks, I love you too. Click goes the phone. Or is it greatly appreciated where she takes you out, she buys you things, buys you lunch, buys you dinner, she gives you, I don't know what, I haven't dated anybody in a long time, so I'm like, I don't know what I'd take from somebody, but you kind of see the point that I'm going with this. And so what you put your time and effort in, it dictates who you are as a person, because if you give little time, little effort to everything you do, it's like, oh, well, he may not care about it, or he may not have time for it, or he may be too busy to do every single thing at once, and he's juggling 1,000 things at once instead of putting his focus on one thing. And that one thing is the key. Because a lot of people, they try to focus on a lot of stuff. You want to be a carpenter, you want to do photography, you want to learn piano, you want to do X, Y, Z, but you also want to do A and B and C. But what's A and B and C? You're too busy to know what A, B, and C is. And I'll give you an example of my own. I'm studying Japanese. I'm studying German, trying to learn French. You see this too much already. I only got 3 things on here. And I want to do some art, I want to do some drawing, and I want to become a better artist. And I also, see, I'm looking at the stuff while I'm doing it. Let me just get it. This is a little journal I used to study German a while ago. Let me see where I can find some German. See, it's going to be backwards for you, but this is German. This is what I pretty much wrote in German. And I was trying to study German. I did that for a whole summer. I got from beginner level to intermediate level in German. And that's when I put Japanese away. And it was just me focusing on German. And if you just focus on one thing, I got all these pins. Even though it's a 5-course language notebook, I take the time and study on one language at a time. Meaning I don't go every week or every day. I don't want to say every week because every week seems a lot better than going from every day because I actually give myself time to remember the words and the phrases. So it goes. So I take one day. Let me actually take this out for you, so that you can actually see what I do with this. Because last night I was grinding on it, and I made a chart. One had on the left side, it had new words, grammar, and then in the middle it had example sentences, and on the end it was basically page numbers where I got it. Because I'm using a textbook, I'm not actually studying with an actual person. But I use HelloTalk, so it's alright. But what I'm saying is, if you try and do multiple things at once, it not only depreciates the value of what you're doing, even though you have a high importance for it and you may have the time for it, you're not putting enough effort into it. That's kind of what I guess grinding came from. Putting a whole bunch of effort in something, putting the time, the effort, put the time and the effort in something, you're going to get a lot of value out of that. But if you just have the time and the effort, or have the time and not a lot of effort, you're not going to get much value out of it. It's going to be like just really low on the spectrum. So instead of just focusing on multiple things at once, focus on one thing you like to do, one thing you love. Let's say you like photography. And even though I'm not really good at photography, I like to take pictures with my phone. If I see something like a flower that's really pretty or something, I go and take a picture of it. I'm not going to draw it later because I can't draw a flower right now. I'm still working on the shading and the sketching and all that, but I take the time out for certain things. And so, when it comes to this drawing and taking pictures, if you like photography, I completely lost myself for a second, I'm sorry. But when it comes to this photography, you really like to do it, you take pictures, you take picture after picture after picture, and you study the picture, and you learn more about the picture. I guess you break it down probably geometrically in your head about the picture. So you break the picture down, you reconstruct the picture, get more pictures, you collect all these pictures, and you study the pictures. That's helping you learn more about the scenery, photography, the aspects of the picture, because there's contrast, saturation, and a whole lot of stuff involved. I don't know the other terms, so don't ask me. But there's a whole lot of other stuff involved in that. And that's you spending time, that's you putting effort and time into photography to become a better photographer. You get it now? Hopefully you get it. This is gonna be kind of long, so you might wanna take a seat for this one. It's gonna be long. And so let me give you another example. You see these? You see this? You see this bag right here? There's a gun in it. No, I'm kidding. This is the art supplies I have not touched yet. Let me flip it up this way. You see? I got art supplies in here I haven't touched yet. And I'm not going to touch them until I get better at drawing. And when I'm actually going to start drawing cartoons, anime, something like that. I may just go to school for anime and then or do it as a minor. Something small that I can do on the side, just in case, things maybe don't work out or I have a change of interest, something like that. So I'm putting my effort where it's needed at the moment. So if you're still in school and you're grinding on something, right now, I got 2 papers and 2 tests to study for. And the papers are kind of in line with the test, however, I'm not sure which one weighs the most. So if I know I can, kind of, when I say importance, I also mean priority. I had to find the word. I thought credibility for some reason, which credibility has, I don't think, anything to do with importance at the moment. But when it comes to importance, there's also the priority. So you can be like priority 1, like delta 1. I don't even know where that came from. But when it comes to priority 1, or the priority, if something's a high priority, it has a high importance for you. Like how Japanese was. I always had a high importance for it. Like if I could learn a new word, I just go and do it. Like even now, I learned a lot of words last night. I'm gonna look at it tonight or look at it at some point again tonight so I can actually remember those words again and get it in my head. A little bit of spaced repetition, but It's still going to be in my head. So if something has a high importance for you, that means you value it a lot. Or even if you don't value it a lot, you still have like a slight value in it that makes it high enough that it's important to you. And so if it's important to you, you're going to want to pursue that. You're going to want to finish doing that. You're going to want to finish that project, start that project, begin doing deadlines, or not deadlines, but you're going to begin doing research, and you're going to want to invest more time into whatever that is. So that's what that really is. So that's your, how did you come up with a prompt or anything in this? And I'm just like, oh. But that's exactly what I'm saying. And for another example, I bought a 3DS because I like 3DSs, and I never had one. I've had a DS, I had a DSi, I've had a DSX. Did they make XL? I can't remember if they made XLs or not. But when I got a DS, I was like, oh, cool, this is hype. And so for like a couple weeks, I was just playing the DS, and I was like, why am I just playing this DS so much? So when I played the DS, it was not necessarily a high importance for me, but it took up a lot of my time. So therefore, the value after I was playing it for a while, it went down from, oh my god, this is it, man, this is a DS. Like the priority and the value went down. It's like, oh my god, I got a DS, yo, look what I got for Christmas. So instead of that, it just went down to where I play it whenever I feel like it, or play it when I have spare time, or play it when I'm going somewhere. It's now like a travel item rather than an all-around console I just take everywhere. Like if I'm going somewhere, I play it. If I'm just sitting around, have nothing to do, bored, no schoolwork, no work, nothing, I play it. But that's also important where you put your time. For example, you put your time in a lot of learning, and you learn a lot, you read a lot of books, which a lot of people probably don't do, except for in high school, because for some reason in high school, we were so imaginative. We were still children, though. We were so imaginative. We were so imaginative and creative that we just read all the time, or at least I did. Me, my sister, and all of our friends. We read all the time. We read random books. We read Stephen King. Well, she read Stephen King, Anthony Horowitz, Twilight. I hate you so much. Because in 2012, as soon as Twilight came out, all the middle school girls were all over Twilight. Now, why do you think that is? It sparked their creativity. Robert Pattinson was hot now. Well, depends. I don't think Kirsten Dunst was hot. To me, maybe certain lights she was okay, but it sparked their curiosity. It made them become more creative, and that's what artists love. They love that creativity. I love the creativity because I get to express myself. Having all these like generic careers like being a doctor, engineer, architect. I hate that word so much because there's two ways you can say it. Investor, entrepreneur, all those are nice. I think entrepreneur is something really, really important. We'll put that on the side. But when it comes to those, they seem like basic careers because it's always been there. It's always been available. But you never see someone come out, or not often come out and be like, oh yeah, I'm trying to be a photographer for XYZ, and I'm going to go to New Zealand and take pictures of the dolphins, if they have dolphins in New Zealand. You always see a bunch of scientists, doctors, and a bunch of other stuff because in a weird way, creativity is also praised and it's also devalued. Because a lot of people don't, if you come out, it's so funny because when you're creative, it's like, what is wrong with you? Why are you so weird? Because you're not normal. It seems like you're not normal to people because you have your own personality, you have your own vibe, you have your own goals, you're chasing after your own things. The people that are following the crowd, being doctors, lawyers, I don't even know if a masseuse would be in there because masseuse is like, I never heard someone who wanted to be a masseuse and massage people unless you're kind of sadistic. But anyway, you kind of get it though, because you don't see a lot of people saying, "I'm gonna be this. I'm gonna be an actor," because you don't see a lot of people wanting to be actors, and if you do, it must be in LA because in Savannah there are a lot of there may be a lot of SCAD students down here, but it's also, they're more into, I say there are a few drawers, a few models, a few XYZs, but I've heard mostly engineers, industrial development, architects, and a bunch of other stuff. Is that creativity in the world is kind of overlooked because it's so different, it's so unique, and that's the one thing about creativity. It's unique. It's because you can't exactly go and copy Picasso. I mean, you could. Is it that easy? Is it that easy to copy art like that? Can you remake a tree exactly the same? You can't, because once it's kind of gone, it's kind of gone in that way. Because art is something that's, to me and to maybe some of my friends, it's something that's really valued, and it's something that sets you apart from people that don't see the way you do. If people don't really understand you, then you must have a knack for art or something that's creative, something besides just yourself. Because it seems kind of weird that you can live life and people like misunderstand you. Because for a long time it was weird that I felt misunderstood. Like whenever I wrote essays and I was typing the way that seems a little bit scientific, because when I type, depending on what I'm typing or who I'm sending it to and what topic it is, like criminal justice or environmental science, I get a, I want to say like a enhanced type of mindset where words I don't use in everyday vocabulary, they come out and they just flow into my writing. And so when I write, it just comes out. It flows, and it just, depending on the subject, criminal law stuff, it flows. Environments, scientific thinking, it flows. And so in that aspect, it's different because whenever I set it off, it's never a perfect A. Never perfect. Because, well, I mean, one time, for example, I had a professor. He asked me if I copied this from somewhere. I was like, no, I didn't. It's all me. It's all original. And it was like, so you have a flair for writing? I was like, I understand. I just write the way I write. How is that any different from anyone else? Because you're naturally creative. I'm naturally creative. Some people are more creative than others, I admit, to some extent. But some people also have that inside, and they're waiting for it to just come out. They're waiting for it to come out and just so they can spread themselves. It's all about being yourself. When it comes to art, it's about being yourself. So that way when you be yourself, you don't value the other success in people. You want to spend more time, a lot more effort into the things you love to do. Like, I love Japan. I love anything about Japan. I haven't been there, but I'm going. And I have to keep saying I'm going. Otherwise, I won't get there. It's the truth. It's the truth. Dude, I've been studying this thing since I'm 14. I was 14. It's been 5 years. You can do the math. Don't find me, though. That'd be creepy. Don't send me no fan mail yet. I'm not ready for that. But I've been studying Japanese for 5 years. It's like, yo, some instances I actually thought about quitting, and then I go and watch anime and be like, no. Watch High School DxD and be like, no, I'm not quitting. But it's nice being yourself. Just be yourself. And I know that it's really hard. It's really, really hard. And even though I honestly want to make this like an intro video because there's so much stuff I can talk about. So much stuff. So if you like hearing somebody talk, send me something. I may ramble off for a bit. I may talk random stuff, but I can talk. I can debate. I can talk. I can debate. I can do anything. And all things. The Christ has strengthened me. What? Sorry, what'd you say? But thank you all for watching this first episode. This introduction. This is more like an introduction to what's important to you. And hopefully it actually helped you find something that's important to you. If you want me to elaborate on something, let me know in the comments or send me an email. I'm pretty sure my email is up there. I'm going to link this to my Instagram and my Snapchat, or mostly my Instagram because I use that more often than Snapchat. I use Snapchat for mostly chatting with friends than anything else. I don't post anything. I'm like that creepy stalker. I really need to stop that. Like, where I live in my apartment, I hear someone go out the front door, so I peek open the blinds and I look. I'm like, who's up there? And I see somebody walk by, and I just close it back like, oh, okay. It's the weirdest, creepiest habit that I need to stop before I get arrested by somebody. And that's not funny. It reminds me of the other day. But thank you all for watching this video. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And follow me on Instagram because I also do daily doses on there. This one is just an introduction video to get you all started. Not exactly to let you all know what's going on, which this actually will be. Let's make this the first video, because if I make it an introduction video, it doesn't seem really like an introduction. And I can, that'd just be weird. So, this is the introduction. This is the first video. I'm making the introduction video right after this, which will be up before, so I'm going to say that the introduction video was before this, just to get you to watch this part over again, to get me to say that again, to get you to, no, I'm kidding. Alright, but thank you all for watching. Have an awesome day. Don't forget to smile, because smiling is the key to everything. And so is love. Keep playing. Jenny.